All right, ladies and gentlemen, and work experience students, we're going to learn about habit two, beginning with the end in mind. So the idea is you control your own destiny, or life will do it, or someone else will, or the government will, but you want to be the one in control. All right. So we're going to do a worksheet, and I want you to work by yourself for this one. We're not doing this one in teams because it's very personal. All right. Let's review the 7 habits. All right. So habit one, be proactive. Habit two, begin with the end in mind. Habit three, put first things first. So here's the 7 habits, and we're working on the first three first, which means, duh, that's obvious. But those first three are the private victory. It's things that you're going to do by yourself. You're going to work through. You're going to build that strong foundation of who you are, and then you can start. Then you can also start building, working with other people. But this is kind of the stuff that the work you do, character building on your own. Okay. So we're on number two, begin with the end in mind. The opposite is begin with no end in mind. So the opposite of what we want you to do is be a victim. Don't plan. Avoid setting goals. You're not going to follow those goals anyway. Don't worry about tomorrow. Sign up for whatever class sounds easy. Ignore consequences, right? That's kind of the opposite of what we're talking about. All right. So what is habit two? Begin with the end in mind. All right, so there's a scene from Alice in Wonderland where the cat says to Alice, "Hey, where do you want to go?" And she says, she asked the cat, "Hey, where should I go? Which direction should I go in?" And the cat's like, "Well, where do you want to get to?" And she's like, "I don't care." He's like, "Well, doesn't matter which way you go. Any way will get you there." And that's not how we want to live life. You want to live life with like, "Hey, here's kind of the goal for my life," and you start walking in the direction that makes the most sense to you, right? You plan it out. So here's the story. So it's Christmas time, and your mom says, "Hey, let's sit down, have some cocoa, and we're going to build a puzzle." So you're all relaxed and cozy by the fireplace. And so you dump out all the puzzle pieces, you kind of get them sorted out, and then you grab the box, and she's like, "What are we building?" And then it's like, "Oh, there's no picture." And so then it's like, well, number one, I don't think I want to do this puzzle. And number two, if I did, it would be really challenging. So, like, just a glance at what the final picture looks like would help a ton, right? It's the same thing with your life, right? So, it's the same thing with your life. Like, if you're trying to build your life and you have no idea what you want it to look like at the end, it's like makes it really challenging, right? Um, all right. Habit two, begin with the end in mind, means developing a clear picture of what you want to do with your life. What are your values? What are your goals? What kind of person do you want to be? It also says you're the driver of your life, not the passenger. You're in control. Like, obviously, there's certain things that are out of your control in life, but there's a lot of things that are in control. And oh, so habit one says that you're the driver. Habit two says, since you're the driver, to decide where you want to go and draw a map to get there. All right. Okay. Highly effective people shape their own future instead of letting other people, their culture, or their circumstances determine it. It's like you're going to build a blueprint for a house. Shouldn't you have a mission statement for you to build your life? All right. Worksheet questions to help you think about your mission statement. All right. So here's a statement. Okay, this is for your worksheet, by the way. If you don't have the worksheet, go to the worksheet and get it. It's going to look something like this. Okay, get this worksheet and answer these questions on the worksheet. All right. So somebody says, "I don't like to think about the future so much. I like to live in the moment and go with the flow." All right. Now evaluate that. Um, is that going to lead to a good life, a bad life, a mediocre life? What's your answer to that? So hit pause on this video, answer that, and I'm going to talk to you about it. All right, here we go. I'm assuming you already answered that question. All right. So if you don't think about the future and you don't plan, that's the opposite of what we want you to do. We want you to visualize and plan for your future and get there. Now, how about this part? I like to live in the moment and go with the flow. Living in the moment is good, right? So, like, if you're like hanging out with your family at Christmas time, or if you're hanging out with your friends at the lake, it's like, yeah, you don't want to be planning for your future. You want to be living in the moment, right? But there's definitely times, and regularly, you should be planning things out, right? Now, how about this going with the flow part? I don't think that's good because the flow might take you in directions you don't want to go. You might have friends that are like doing bad stuff that you don't want to do. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that with you guys today, right? So some of it's good, some of it's bad. All right. Um, why is it important to have an end in mind? Because you guys in your junior and senior year, you have you're like at a critical crossroads. Like you could go in all kinds of different directions right now that are going to make a huge impact on your life, right? So what are the critical crossroads that are coming for you right now? Write that down. Okay, and so obvious critical crossroads are: what are you going to do after school? Are you going to go to junior college? Are you going to go to a regular college, a university? Or are you going to go to trade school? Or are you going to just get a job? Or are you going to do like I told you not to do and get a giant truck with a loaner payment, right? So having a plan is important. All right, I'm going to tell you a story. The other thing is, like, are you going to stay with your boyfriend or girlfriend? Are you going to get married to your boyfriend or girlfriend? All right, so here's the thing about a plan. Here's a story about having a plan. All right, so I was speaking about boyfriend and girlfriend. I was terrible at picking girlfriends when I was your age. Like, my first girlfriend was super mean. She was terrible, right? My friends hated her. My parents didn't really like her that much. It's like, okay, that didn't work out. So my second girlfriend was nice. But anyway, but she wasn't a great. She was super nice. We got along great, but she wasn't a great fit. I talked to my good friend Steve. He still sees her on occasion. He says, "Man, you really dodged a bullet with her because she's like crazy now, neurotic. She like does weird things. So like not a good fit." Other girlfriends weren't very good, and so after a while, I realized, like, you know what? I'm not really good at this picking a girlfriend thing, and I'm getting to the age where I'm kind of ready to get married, and like, so what I did is I made a plan, which sounds very unromantic, but I did. I made a plan. Like, what am I looking for in a girlfriend who's going to be my wife? And I had a list of like almost 50 things. There's a huge list of these things, right? Um, of just like the characteristics I was looking for in a wife. And the crazy thing is like about 2 months after that, like I met a lady, and she was super nice, and I'm like looking at my list, and it's like, wow, she like hits like 48 of these things. And the only ones that she missed was like, I kind of was looking for a curly haired brunette, and she was a straight haired strawberry blonde. So it's like, she hits 49 things on my list. Hair color is not that big a deal, right? And so, but then I knew, like, okay, not only did I really like her and enjoy spending time with her, but it's like, yeah, she's got the character I'm looking for. It's like, yeah. And so anyway, we got married, and 21 years later, things are going good. So having a plan for things is good. All right. Sorry, I digressed there. All right. Now here's what I want you guys to do. I want you on your worksheet. I want you to visualize this is what happened. So close your eyes with me and think about this. All right. So you're walking down the street, right? And you see somebody off in the distance. You're looking. It's like, they look familiar. Who is that? And so like you keep walking closer, and you can see they're staring at you. It's like, who is that person? As you get closer, you realize, like, oh my gosh, that's me 5 years from now. But it's not just the you 5 years from now, any old you. It's like the you that you hope to be. It's like you did what you wanted to do, and here's the person you became, right? So you start talking to yourself from the future. What have you done over the past 5 years? How do you feel? What do you look like? What character or characteristics do you possess? Answer those questions, right? So like, who do you want to become in 5 years? Write that down in your worksheet. All right. You can read this if you want. What's the best way? Okay, so you have this vision of who you want to be in 5 years. What's the best way to become the person you want to be? Write that down on your worksheet. What's the best way to become the person you want to be? Write that down. All right, the best way, I think, is to have the end in mind, have your plan, and work towards that plan. And that plan, part of that plan, is having a personal mission statement. And that is what we are going to do in our worksheet. Is we're gonna have a rough draft of a personal mission statement. Okay, here's examples of other people's personal mission statement. Well, this is an example, but a personal mission statement is a motto, a creed that states what your life is about. It's like a blueprint for your life. They come in all sorts of ways, styles. You can do a poem, a song, a quote, photograph. Here are some examples. Have confidence in yourself. Be kind. Make time to help those. Anyway, so this is a good one. This is somebody spent some time on this and wrote down. Here's some of the main things I want to do. Okay, and then as part of his mission statement, he said, read this mission statement every day. Here's one for like a more artsy person. Okay, and here's one. And by the way, look at how specific these are. You can tell that this person wrote this. Eat for energy, not comfort. Get enough sleep. Allow enough time. Don't multitask. Do one thing at a time well, right? So this person has some issues that they're working through, and you can see it into their mission statement. But you can see there's different ways to do mission statements. Okay, this is what you guys are gonna not do on the worksheet. This is gonna be what you're gonna do throughout the week to fine tune your mission statement. But this is the goal, to get a good mission statement. All right, so now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you answer some questions to get on the path to doing your mission statement. Okay, pick at least 3 that will help you, and put an X on the ones that you don't want to do. So let's take a look at the worksheet and see what that means. That's not it. Hold tight. I'll get there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're coming down to the great discovery. So there's all these things right here. Okay, so all these. So pick 3 that you want to do and put an X on the ones that you don't want to do. And the other thing is, somebody in class said, "Hey, Mr. Miller, I don't like this question very much. Can I modify it?" Absolutely. So the idea is these questions are helping you formulate your thoughts so that you can do a good mission statement. All right. So hit pause and do the 3 of these that help you. And if there's one that you like, come up with on your own that you like better, great. All right. So but let's talk about this. So you're going to do these, and then you're going to start to clarify your thinking, and then you're going to do a draft of your personal mission statement. So you're going to do this. Review all that you wrote in the Great Discovery and look at the pictures you chose to represent you. Now make a list of the most important things that you want your personal mission statement to include. So this should be like a bullet pointed list. And then you're going to do a draft of your mission statement. Okay? And once you get all that done, you can either turn this in to the basket, or you can turn it in on Google Classroom. Either way is fine with me. And then speaking of Google Classroom, let's go to Google Classroom. So let's go to Classroom. I'm going to talk to you about your assignment throughout the week. Okay, we're going to go to classwork. And okay, so right here you have this thing called Refine Your Personal Mission Statement. Okay, so this is an assignment where you're going to take this worksheet that we're just talking about, and then you're going to actually create a beautiful mission statement. You're going to actually go through the process, and where'd it go? It's not here. Hold on, I'll get you there. Don't you worry. Okay, so you're going to go through and you're going to create one like this, or one like this, or one like this, or however you want to do it. The idea, though, about the personal mission statement is it's something like this. Read this mission statement every day. So my personal mission statement, I don't read it every day. But what I do is on Sundays, I fill out my calendar, right? So I have kids. I've got to get my kids to their events. I've got chiropractic appointments because I'm old and my back hurts, right? I have all this stuff going on in the week. You guys have a lot going on in your weeks too. Anyway, but I go do my calendar. But the thing is before I do my calendar, I look at my mission statement, right? And so here's just an example is so one of the things on my personal mission statement, it says something about being a good and loving husband, right? And also being a good and loving father. And so last week I was doing my calendar, but before I did my calendar, I looked at it and I'm like, oh, you know what? I haven't actually spent any time with my wife for a while. So anyway, we had a date. I put it on the calendar. Hey, Kirsten, let's go on a date. So we went to Murphy's and we had a date, and it was great. The same thing is oh, you know what? I haven't done very much with my kids lately. So the other day I'm like, hey, we got Monday off for Martin Luther King Day, and so I took my kids skiing, and it was a good time hanging out and talking to my kids. But the idea is that the mission statement actually changes what you do during the week. It changes your week, right? And so the hope is that you don't create this thing and then hide it away for a year, right? But it's something that becomes part of your daily or weekly or at least monthly process. All right, that's it. So we have our worksheet to turn in, and then you have your assignment for the week is the mission statement, the nice one. Okay, now, final thoughts. Spend some time this week reflecting on your personal mission statement. Refine it, make it useful for you. It's not for anyone else. You should ask yourself, does it inspire you? It should be something you use regularly. Refine it to how you want it. By the way, if this thing ends up being so personal that you don't want me looking at it, I'm okay with that. I'm great with that. So it should be personal, and I'll figure out a way to grade. Bring it, and just show me it. Flash it to me, and I'll grade it that way if it's something personal. All right, it could be a poster in a notebook. Make it beautiful. Use color. However you want to do it. The best one gets a donut. All right, that's it. Thanks, guys.